Okay guys, so we continue with the clinical presentation of Ascaris lumbricoides infection. So although heavy infections in children may cause stunted growth via malnutrition, because imagine guys, the number of worms, syempre if you're infected, hindi lang naman yan isa or dalawang worm. Most likely, madami yan. Okay? So that can cause, aside from intestinal obstruction, they will also try to rob you, okay, of the nutrition that you have that you ingest, okay? So, kakainin din nila yung mga kinakain mo. So, instead na mapunta sa system mo yung mga pagkain for the growth and development, napupunta siya sa maturation ng worms. Okay? Or di kaya to support the life of these worms. Kaya nagkakaroon ng malnutrition. Adult worms usually cause no acute symptoms. So high worm burdens may cause abdominal pain and intestinal obstruction and potentially perforation in a very high intensity infections. So migrating adult worms may cause symptomatic occlusion of the biliary tract, appendicitis, nasopharyngeal expulsion, okay, so yung lumalabas na, di ba, sa mouth area, minsan sa nasal or sa nose, minsan din sa my ears. So, particularly in infection involving a single female worm. If an individual is infected only of a single female worm, take note that it may pass eggs. Okay? Pwede siya mag-lay ng eggs pero unfertilized. So, hindi rin siya magmamature to become the infective stage, the embryonated with L3 larvae. Okay? So, diseases, of course, Ascariasis, Ascaris pneumonitis, or Loeffler syndrome. You read more on this one, ang Loeffler syndrome, paano siya nagde-develop. Okay? So, magbasa din kayo. Abdominal pain as well as diarrhea. So, another is, of course, obstruction, intestinal obstruction that may lead to the removal of that certain part of the intestine. Okay, so if you also check some of the intestinal obstructions images in the internet, sobrang OA kasi nga, wait lang, mag-copy lang ako. So we have it here. So as you can see, so this is an intestine. So tinanggal na yan because of the severe infection of Ascaris lumbricoides. So imagine nyo din yung dami ng worms. Iba na nakukuha because of this Ascaris lumbricoides infection. So diagnosis, that is direct fecal smear. However, it is a less sensitive method. Okay? Bakit nagiging less sensitive method ang direct fecal smear? Okay? So ano ba yung direct fecal smear? Yung sample is the stool. Okay? Pea-size lang yung kukunin. Sobrang liit nung sample na kukunin, and aside from that, sobrang konti lang yung kukunin mo na ilalagay mo sa slide. So, pag mas maliit kasi yung sample, mas maliit din yung chance na makakuha ka ng egg. What if mali pa yung binigay or yung part na kinuha dun sa tae is sobrang konti ng eggs dun, diba? So, sobrang konti lang na ilalagay mo sa slide na sample. So, sobrang konti ng possible na dapat mataas yung level ng eggs, masyadong maraming eggs, para makakita ka ng eggs dun sa direct fecal smear. Kaya siya less sensitive method. So, Kato technique or cellophane thick smear method, that is a qualitative method. Okay, si Kato technique, that is also recommended for mass examination in feces. Okay? So, kapag sobrang dami ng i-examine na feces for parasitic infection involving nematodes, ginagamit si Kato technique. Okay? Si Kato cuts naman, that is a quantitative method. Ibig sabihin, you will determine the intensity of infection. Quantitative siya, so kailangan mong mag-report. Okay? Mag-report ng number. So, kapag less than 20 eggs ang nakita per slide, that is considered as light infection. Pero kapag more than 100 yung eggs na nakita, that is considered as heavy infection already of Ascaris lumbricoides. Kung si Ascaris ang nakita na egg. Okay, treatment. Si albendazole, that is the drug of choice. Okay, so mebendazole, these are possible treatment: albendazole, mebendazole, pyrantel, pamoate, and ivermectin. Guys, question, diba sa protozoan, recommended dun ang mebendazole. But for this one, for Ascaris lumbricoides, drug of choice ang albendazole. So, check nyo you check the reason on why albendazole is recommended for Ascaris lumbricoides infection. Okay? Ano ba yung difference ni albendazole sa mebendazole? Okay? So, Trichuris trichura. So, this is holomyarian. So, somatic muscles in cross-section where cells are small, numerous, and closely packed in a narrow zone. So, male worm with coiled posterior with single spicule and refractile shape. So, ito yung posterior nila. Mas mataba yung sa posterior end as compared to the anterior one. Okay? So, yung posterior ni male, meron siyang coiled posterior with single spicule. Okay? So, the spicule will hold the female during the copulation. So, female worm has a bluntly rounded posterior end. So, rounded yung posterior end niya. So, this one. That lays 3,000 to 10,000 eggs per day. So, mas madami pa rin si Ascaris kasi pwede siyang maglay ng 200,000 a day. So, imagine mo in 5 days, nakaling na siya ng 1 million, diba? Kapag so sobrang dami nun. Unlike for Trichuris trichura, mas maliit yung nalili niya relative sa nalili na egg ni Ascaris lumbricoides. Okay? So, this is the female one. So, mas mahaba pa rin siya as compared kay male. Okay? So, coiled sa male with spicule, si female, ganyan lang, rounded egg ends. So, meron din silang ovary, oviduct, intestine, kasi meron silang digestive and reproductive system, pero wala silang circulatory system. So, ito naman, this is male, kasi meron siyang spicule. Okay, this is male because of the presence of spicule. So, mas thin yung mouth area nila as compared to the posterior end. Okay? So, the eggs are lemon-shaped with plug-like translucent polar prominences. Okay, these polar prominences is sometimes referred as the bipolar plugs. Yellowish outer and transparent inner shell. So, embryonation occur in the soil, kagaya ni Ascaris lumbricoides. Embryonation occurs in the soil. So, Trichuris trichura and Ascaris lumbricoides. So, they are sometimes observed with each other. Kapag meron kang Ascaris infection, minsan meron ka rin Trichuris trichura infection. Kasi nga, their mode of transmission is the same. Okay, pareho sila ng mode of transmission. So, if infected na yung soil and na-ingest yun, so, possible na maka-ingest ka ng Ascaris lumbricoides egg or pwede ding Trichuris or pwedeng both. Okay? So, bakit si hookworm din? Bakit that is a common co-infection with Ascaris or Trichuris? Since yung mga bata naglalaro sa soil, okay, though iba yung mode of infection nila, nakukuha din kasi ang hookworm sa soil. Diba? That is through penetration of the skin. Okay? So, kung naglalaro sila sa soil, naka-ingest sila ng infected soil. Okay? Pag naglalaro naman ng mga bata sa soil, bare feet yan. So, walang chinela. So, possible na magkaroon ng skin penetration of hookworms. Okay, so the eggs, aside from they are referred as the lemon-shaped, minsan in other books, these are termed as barrel shape, football shape, or Japanese lantern in appearance. Okay, ano ba kasi ang Japanese lantern? Pero yun kasi yung very common na description nila for Trichuris trichura egg, that is Japanese lantern. So, this is the Japanese lantern, guys. Ito yung lantern ng Japanese, di ba? Hindi kagaya natin na star. So, meron kasing, just like here, meron silang bipolar plugs. Okay, so the Japanese lantern has this. So, yan yun. So, that is the bipolar plugs. So, Trichuris trichura eggs has a Japanese lantern appearance with the presence of prominent bipolar plugs. So, ito yung plugs nila. Okay, so this is the unembryonated and this is the embryonated. Embryonated, meron na siyang larvae inside. So this is unembryonated, that is the mucous plug or the bipolar plug kasi dalawa on both sides. This is the unsegmented ovum, that is bile stain. Yung inner shell niya, hindi siya na-stain ng bile. The outer shell that can be stained by bile. So this one, yun yung mga nakikita sa feces. Okay? So, meron siyang plugs, prominent. Meron din kasing may plugs, si Capillaria philippinensis, pero hindi siya prominent. Okay? Okay, so again, Japanese lantern appearance. Egg with the Japanese lantern appearance, that is Trichuris trichura egg. Okay, so again, there are two types, unembryonated and the embryonated one. For Ascaris lumbricoides, they're actually decorticated. Okay? So, there's also a decorticated egg for Ascaris lumbricoides. So, check nyo na lang yung features niya. Madami namang samples ng features sa internet and you try to compare that with the normal form and the unfertilized. Okay? So, the fertilized, ibig sabihin, this is the fertilized, the normal form. This is the unfertilized. This is the infective stage, the embryonated egg with a larva inside the egg. So, meron ding decorticated. So, okay, so this is known as the rectal prolapse. So, rectal prolapse that is associated with Trichuris trichura infection. Okay, so this is a part of large intestine na lumabas. Okay, so ito yung puwet. So, the question is, what leads to rectal prolapse? Okay, so why does whipworm infection? Other name or the common name for Trichuris trichura, that is whipworm. Okay, so that is whipworm. So guys, you also check for their common names kasi baka sa quiz nyo, instead of saying diseases caused by Trichuris trichura, ang sasabihin ko is whipworm. So you check also for the common names of these nematodes, okay? So why does whipworm infection lead to rectal prolapse, okay? So it's up to you to search on this one. So this is a part of the large intestine, okay, or the rectum, specifically the rectum. So as you can see here, that is infected with Trichuris trichura. So yung mga yan, those are worms of Trichuris trichura. So ito yung legs ng bata, ito yung puwet area niya. So lumabas, okay? So heavy infection, patient suffers from frequent blood, strict diarrhea, abdominal pain, as well as tenderness. Okay, so for the life cycle, eggs once excreted into the environment, the embryonation period is about 14 to 21 days with the proper environmental conditions. Okay, so if the proper conditions are present, the eggs develop and are capable of infection if that is consumed. So eggs move down into the small intestine. Here the eggs hatch and the juveniles burrow into the epithelial lining and mature. So it takes 4 molts for the worm to reach maturity from the egg. Okay, so nagmamature din siya. And guys, take note also, embryonation, okay, requires that the egg must be passed into the soil. So, dun sa soil siya nagiging embryonated egg. Okay? So, if that is passed sa feces, okay? Kaya hindi pwede dito ang fecal-oral route. Okay? Hindi pwede ang fecal-oral route kasi yung pinapas sa feces, hindi pa siya embryonated egg. Kailangan niyang mag-mature into embryonated egg para maging infective stage. Okay? So this one, hindi ibig sabihin that that is contaminated by feces. So that is contaminated by soil. Okay? With the presence of embryonated egg. So for the life cycle, I prefer that you draw or illustrate the life cycle that is given by CBC. Mas madali kasing intindihin si CBC, yung mga life cycle sa CBC. Okay, so diagnosis. So, clinical diagnosis is possible only in heavy infection. Kasi guys, take note, the number of eggs passed by whipworm, okay, is relatively small compared to that of Ascaris lumbricoides. So, 3,000 to 10,000 lang siya egg per day. So, maliit yun, okay? Maliit yun kapag yun yung naipapass sa stool. Bakit maliit yun? 1,000. So, these are microscopic structures. Sobrang liliit niyan. And imagine nyo yung kalaki ng tae. Sa laki ng tae na yun, sobrang konti lang na titignan mo sa microscope. Napaka-konti lang. Kasi kahit pea-size yung binigay nila na sample, hindi mo naman yun i-check lahat yung binigay na sample. Konti lang. Sobrang konti lang ang kukunin mo para ilagay sa slide. Okay? So, also, rectal prolapse, you can use that for diagnosis of whipworm infection. Kasi nga, meron namang mga worms na embedded dun sa lumabas na rectal area ng isang individual. Direct fecal smear also, Kato-Tick smear, Kato-Katz technique, and concentration technique. Between the two, Kato-Tick and Kato-Katz, ano dyan yung quantitative? That is the Kato-Katz. Okay? So, Kato-Katz technique, that is quantitative. So, recommended for diagnosis, si Kato-Tick. Okay, so that is for diagnosis of clinic patients and for mass examination. Okay, kagaya pag kailangan mo community survey. Pero pag gusto mo ng quantitative method, use the Kato-Katz. Okay, for egg counting. It can be used to assess success or failure of a control program, si Kato-Katz technique. Okay, concentration techniques can also be used. So if you remember the FECT, so that is a concentration technique. So, mebendazole, that is the drug of choice. Question, di ba kanina si Ascaris lumbricoides, ang drug of choice is albendazole. Bakit dito sa whipworm infection, mebendazole na yung drug of choice? It has something to do with their action, guys. Okay? That's why you have to check, ano ba yung difference ni mebendazole at albendazole? Pareho naman silang nematode. Pero bakit magkaiba yung drug of choice for whipworm infection and Ascaris infection? Okay, si Enterobius vermicularis, also known as the sitworm or pinworm. So, morphology of the adult, they have cuticular alar expansions at the anterior end and a prominent posterior esophageal bulb. So, adult female, they are longer, relatively longer as compared to the male. So they have a long pointed tail, uteri, so are distended with eggs. So for the male, they have curved tails with single spicule, kagaya ni Trichuris, single spicule din. So they are rarely seen because they usually die after copulation. Ito yung mga nakikipag-sex na namamatay. Okay? So, ito yung mga nagsasacrifice. After nilang magpasarap, mamamatay na sila. Okay? So, ganun si male. Okay? Si male na Enterobius vermicularis. So, this is female. Mga straight, ganyan. Or konting curve. Female yan. Pero pag yung nag-curve talaga siya on the posterior end, okay, kasi kailangan nila yan for holding, especially for the presence of spicule, holding the female during copulation. Okay, so namamatay sila after copulation, the male ones. So they have prominent esophageal bulb. So meron silang esophageal bulb. This one. So the eggs naman, this can be easily identified because they are D-shaped. Okay, D naman yung shape nila, di ba Japanese lantern? C, Trichuris trichura, D-shape naman yung egg ni Enterobius vermicularis. Okay? And, ano kasi to? Refractile siya. Okay? So, they are ditiform larva. This one, that is the larva, tadpole-like, non-bile stem. That is esophageal bulb but has no cuticular expansion on the anterior end. Okay? So, wala siyang mga expansion, wala siyang mga plugs. Sorry, for the arditiform larva pala, wala silang esophageal bulb. Okay? Kasi larva pa lang to. For the eggs, they are asymmetrical. So, hindi equal. If you divide that into two, hindi pareho, hindi sila mirror images. Okay? Kasi nga D-shape, yung isang side niya flattened, medyo flattened. Yung isa naman is convex siya. Okay? So, symmetrical with one side flattened and the other side is convex. Kaya nga siya D-shaped. Translucent siya. Okay? Kaya madali siyang i-identify. Okay? Translucent shell consists of outer triple albuminous covering for mechanical protection and inner embryonic lipoidal membrane for chemical protection. Okay? For me, this is the easiest egg to identify. Okay? Kasi nagiging refractile siya. So, kapag minumove mo yung fine adjustment na, hindi iba-iba yung kulay niya, hindi din siya nai-stay. Okay? And madali siyang ma-identify. Sometimes, makikita mo din to in the smear with the larvae. Minsan din, timing, nagha-hatch sila. Okay? Kaya, parang cute. Madali siyang i-identify. Okay? So, for the life cycle, life cycle of Enterobius vermicularis. So, for the life cycle of Enterobius vermicularis, so where is that? Number 1. So, eggs are present in the perianal folds. Okay, so eggs are present in the eggs are deposited on the perianal folds, and self-infection can happen by transferring infected eggs to the mouth with the hands that have scratched the perianal area. So this is common to children. Okay? Kasi 'di ba pag nangangati-ngati yung puwetan nila, kinakamot nila, and it is a habit of children or of a child na sinusubo nila yung kanilang hands. So, in that case, that is another way of reinfecting the self. Okay? So, that is another way of self-infection. So, embryonated eggs, are ingested by human. So, this is the eggs are the diagnostic stage. Okay, so eggs are the diagnostic stage, and relative to Trichuris and Ascaris, they don't need the soil, okay, to be embryonated. So, nagiging embryonated sila kahit nasa perianal folds. Okay, so larvae inside the eggs mature within 4 to 6 hours. Okay, mature within 4 to 6 hours. Self-infection happens if embryonated eggs are ingested by humans after scratching the perianal area. Pwede din naman that it can be transferred to other individuals. So, pag hinawakan mo yung food, yung isang bata, ni-scratch niya yung puwetan niya, hinawakan niya yung pagkain ng iba, okay? Pwede din dito, pwede din siyang ma-inhale, okay? So, possible din ang inhalation of eggs. Okay, so person-to-person transmission can also occur through handling of contaminated clothes or bed linens. So, kapag na-contaminate yung hinigaan ng bata, okay, pwede ding ma-infect yung ibang individual. Enterobiasis may also be acquired through surfaces in the environment that are contaminated with pinworm eggs. So, small number of eggs may become airborne. So, following ingestion, egg hatch in the small intestine. Okay, they hatch in the small intestine and the adults establish in the colon. So, habitat nila ang large intestine. Okay, sa may colon area. Okay, so they may establish in the large intestine. So, interval from ingestion of infective eggs to oviposition by the adult females is about 1 month. So, matagal din siyang mag-mature to become an adult female. Gravid females migrate nocturnally sa gabi outside the anus and oviposit while crawling on the skin of the perianal area. The larvae contained inside the eggs develop in 4 to 6 hours and retroinfection may occur. So, ang ibig sabihin nun, yung gravid female, di ba yung male namamatay siya after copulation? Okay? Si female naman, during at night, pwede siyang mag-migrate outside. Pwede siyang lumabas sa putan, sa perianal folds, dun siya maglilay ng eggs. So, dinadala na niya yung egg dun sa may perianal area. Kaya minsan nangangati-ngati yung puwet kasi lumalabas yung mga female adults. Aside from lumalabas sila, nagha-hatch na din minsan yung mga larvae sa may puwetan, okay, ng isang individual. Kaya nagiging makati. Kaya ini-scratch. So, yung nag-hatch na larvae, possible ang retroinfection kasi yung nag-hatch na larvae, pwede na silang bumalik. Pwede sila ulit pumasok dun sa large intestine. Okay? Kaya nagkakaroon ng retroinfection. Gamete female migrates to perianal region at night to lay eggs. Okay? So that is the life cycle of the Enterobius vermicularis. So, kung di nyo naintindihan yung explanation ko, you can find this one at CBC. So, pathology. So, there are 3. Pathology at the site of attachment, pathology due to egg deposition sa perianal region, and pathology caused by migrating worm. So, diseases. Enterobiasis. Diba madali kasing tandaan yung diseases caused by these nematodes kasi kung ano yung name nila, yun na rin yung disease. Meron lang mga attach or other diseases, kagaya ng rectal polyps. Okay? Pero yung mga main diseases nila, it is based on their name, like ascariasis, enterobiasis. Okay? So, oxyuriasis, that is the perianal itching or the pruritus ani. So, pag pruritus ani, that is perianal itching. And that is related to infection with Enterobius vermicularis. Mild catarrhal inflammation, so that is attachment of worms sa may intestinal mucosa. So, sample, okay? Though possible din naman ang direct fecal smear. Kasi kapag tumatay ka, di ba nasa perianal fold, sumasama din naman yung mga eggs, okay, sa may tae. But the recommended, okay, the most recommended sample for Enterobius vermicularis infection, that is through Graham-Scotch tape swab or the Graham-Scotch adhesive tape swab. So that is actually a cellulose tape. Minsan mababasa mo lang is Scotch tape swab. Okay? So mas common ngayon yung Graham-Scotch tape swab na wala ng word na adhesive. So ang ginagawa lang doon yung tape, okay, ididikit lang siya sa may perianal area. Okay, so this is the anal area of a child or an individual. Okay, so ididikit lang doon and makakakuha siya. So that is in the morning before taking a bath. Okay, before taking a bath. So kapag pagkalabas sa bed, okay, hindi na maliligo yung patient, pupunta sa hospital. Okay, ganyan na. It is tape lang yung sa may petan na area. And then yung tape ilalagay sa slide and they will observe that sa microscope. Total, hindi rin naman na-stain yung eggs ng Enterobius vermicularis. Okay? So, that is for the diagnosis. Pwede din namang gamitin pa rin ang direct fecal smear. Okay? Kasi mas madali yung pagpasa ng sample. Bibigay ka lang ng tayo. Hindi kagaya dito. I-involve mo pa yung magko-collect ng sample. So, treatment. So, the pyrantel pamoate, that is the drug of choice. Okay, for the Enterobius vermicularis. Okay, Capillaria philippinensis that is normally found in fish-eating birds. So this is also known as pudok worm. Okay, so questions for research. Kayo na yung magbasa. Why is it named as philippinensis or Capillaria philippinensis? Bakit nandiyan yung name ng Philippines? Bakit din yung common name niya is pudok worm? So, bahala na kayong basahin yun. Parang yun may gawin kayo. It is normally found in fish-eating birds. It infects humans who ingest raw or incompletely cooked fish that contain infective larvae. So, later on, guys, we'll know that a lot of parasite can come from raw or uncooked fish, kagaya ng mga sushi, ganyan. Fish ba yun? Wait lang. I forgot. Basta yung sa yung mga salmon, ganyan. Okay, yung mga, basta madaming parasite ang pwedeng makuha sa uncooked or raw or incomplete cooked fish. Kaya diba sa Ilocano yata meron silang kilawin. Hindi ako kumakain nun kasi baka may parasite. So, eggs resemble those of Trichuris although they measure 36 to 45 micrometer in length by 21 micrometer in width and have thick, radially striated shells and mucoid plugs that are inconspicuous. Okay, so the eggs of Capillaria philippinensis can sometimes be confused with that of the eggs of Trichuris trichura because of the presence of bipolar plugs. Okay, eto kasing mga length na to, for me, you cannot measure this one in the microscope. So, I don't find them useful in the diagnosis. If you are using a simple microscope or a compound microscope, kasi hindi naman ito na-measure. So, you really have to focus on their characteristic. Okay, so this is manifestation. They may cause chronic diarrhea, and in fact, individuals may pass eggs, larvae, and even adult worms in their feces. That is characterized by abdominal pain, chronic diarrhea, and gurgling stomach. Yung ibig sabihin ng gurgling stomach. So, findings, enteropathy, malabsorption. Take note also, question for research, why is there malabsorption in Capillaria philippinensis infection? Okay, bakit nagkakaroon ng malabsorption? Decreased excretion of xylose, low electrolytes, especially potassium, as well as high immunoglobulin. So, pathology, microulceration, expression of intestinal villi, borborygmi, malabsorption, and the low plasma electrolyte concentration. Okay, so bakit din nagkakaroon ng low plasma electrolyte concentration? Actually, that's related to diarrhea. So, yung question ko for research is, why is there malabsorption in Capillaria philippinensis infection? So, there are two types of female, the typical and the atypical. So, si typical female, that is oviparous. Okay, oviparous siya. Unlike si atypical female, that is larviparous. So, you read on their description. Okay, and you try to differentiate them. But that is their main difference. Oviparous typical, si atypical larviparous. So adults, they have thin filamentous anterior end and slightly thicker and shorter posterior end. So esophagus with rows of secretory cells called stichocytes and the entire esophageal structure called stichosome. So anus is subterminal and the vulva in females is located at the junction of anterior and middle thirds. So this one, that is their vulva. So this is the adult worm of Capillaria philippinensis, common name, that is pudok worm. So the diagnostic stage, the unembryonated egg, fertilized egg, and the larva. So eggs, they are peanut shaped. So kung si Trichuris trichura, Japanese lantern, okay? Si Capillaria naman, peanut shape. They have striated shells with flattened bipolar plugs. Si Trichuris, prominent. Okay, kitang-kita mo yung bipolar plugs niya. Okay, si Capillaria philippinensis eggs naman flatten yung kanilang bipolar plugs. That is passing feces and the environment in the soil or water. Okay, so mas rich water so that fresh water or brackish water fish can ingest it. That's why, guys, human can be infected by ingesting an infected fish. Okay, so if that is uncooked or undercooked. So this one, that is the flattened polar plugs. Ito pala, particularly this one. And that is peanut shape. Hindi kagaya ni Trichuris trichuria. That is prominent bipolar plugs. Diba? Halos lumabas yung bipolar plugs niya. Okay? Hindi kagaya ni Capillaria na flat. Flat ang kanyang bipolar plugs. So this one. Okay, so these are the different morphotypes of the Capillaria philippinensis eggs. So for the life cycle, okay, so this one, okay, so typically unembryonated eggs, so this one, these are passed in the human stool and become embryonated in the external environment, either sa soil or pwede din naman sa water. Okay, so pwedeng birds or man, eggs passed by birds or man enter the environment, become embryonated and infective and are eaten by fish. So the infective larvae develop sa fish. Okay, so ingestion of raw or undercooked infected fish can infect a human. Okay, so after ingestion by freshwater fish, the larvae hatch, penetrate the intestine, and migrate to the tissues of the individual. Okay, ingestion of raw or undercooked fish results in the infection of the human host. The adults of Capillaria philippinensis reside in the human small intestine. So, where they burrow in the mucosa. Ibig sabihin, burrow. B-U-R-R-O-W. They attach. Okay, nag-a-attach sila sa intestinal mucosa. Hindi kagaya ni Ascaris lumbricoides, hindi siya nag-a-attach. Okay, no attachment. For Trichuris, nag-a-attach din siya. Okay, so females deposit unembryonated eggs. Some of these become embryonated in the intestine. Okay, eto kasi yung pangit. This contributes to the pathology or the diseases caused by Capillaria philippinensis. Kasi, even in the small intestine, okay, the eggs can become embryonated. Okay? Aside from that, in the intestine, some female worms may produce larvae that can reinvade the intestinal mucosa, resulting into internal auto-reinfection. Kasi some Capillaria philippinensis female are larviparous. Okay, so yung mga atypical female. So, while inside the intestine, maglilay na sila ng larvae. So, si larvae naman, i-reinvade na niya yung intestinal mucosa. Okay? So, that can lead to auto-reinfection. So, this leads to hyperinfection as well. So, when we say hyperinfection, that is a massive number of adult worms. Okay, sa lahat ng diniscuss natin, sa Ascaris, Trichuris, as well as si Enterobius, ito lang yung capable ng hyperinfection, hyperinfecting the cell, okay, or internal auto-reinfection. Kasi nga nasa loob pa lang ng katawan yung female, naglilay na siya ng larvae na nag-i-invade ulit yung larvae na nalilay while that is inside the small intestine, nire-invade na niya agad yung small intestine, leading to hyperinfection. Capillaria philippinensis is currently considered a parasite of fish-eating birds. Okay, itong mga to, yung mga kumakain ng fish, and that is their natural definitive host. Okay, so that is their natural definitive host. Diagnosis, of course, eggs that is present in the feces. Okay, so with the characteristic of flattened bipolar plugs or peanut-shaped eggs. So, larval stages or adult worms on feces. Pwede ka din makakita ng larva, pwede din ng adult worms. Concentration technique can also be used. And duodenal aspiration. Possible din ang duodenal aspiration. So, treatment, electrolyte replacement and high protein diet. Kasi nga, bumababa yung level ng potassium. And mebendazole or albendazole. Pero yung drug of choice niya is albendazole. Okay, so again guys, huwag niyo kakalimutan yung research question about the mebendazole and albendazole. So, that ends the discussion for the first part. Intestinal nematodes 1. Meron pa tayong mga hindi na-discuss, kagaya ni hookworms. Okay? So, together with the intestinal nematodes, i-discuss ko na rin si Trichinella spiralis. Okay? So, that's all. Thank you guys. You don't need to outline this. I realized na sobrang dami nyo din palang ginagawa. May manual kayo. Okay? Ang dami nyo ding subject. So, hayaan nyo na yung outline. Okay? Basta tumutok kayo sa exam and quizzes. Okay? Mas importante pa rin yan, yung quizzes and exam. So, yung purpose ko kasi dati for the outline is to ensure na binabasa nyo and nakikinig kayo sa presentation ko. However, I realized that it's time-consuming. Okay? Sobrang dami yung subject and kawawa naman kayo. So, mag-focus na lang kayo sa pagre-review. Okay? Bahala kayo kung ayaw nyo makinig sa presentation or sa recorded discussion. It's up to you. Hindi naman ako yung lugi. Okay? So, also, do not forget to search on the questions na sinabi ko while discussing. Because definitely, they will be included in the quiz. So, thank you for listening and God bless everyone.